Sahajanand Swami Maharajani Jai. Vachnamrut number 60. Our favorite Muktanand Swami asks another question. Vasna ટાળ્યાનો શું ઉપાય છે? God, please guide us. How do we reach the state of desirelessness? Why must we reach desirelessness? Because till there are desires, there is always a probability that 50% chances the desire will get fulfilled, 50% chances that the desire will not get fulfilled. If the desire will not get fulfilled, we will all be sad and we will keep fluctuating our state of inner being. There will not be a constant state of bliss or peace inside us. God gives this answer in a very structured manner. He begins with that નિર્વાસનિક પુરુષ હોય અને જેને ભગવાનને વિશે સ્થિતિ થઈ હોય તેને વચને કરીને જ નિર્વાસનિકપણું પમાય. પણ ગ્રંથમાં લખી રાખ્યો હોય તેણે કરીને નથી પમાતો. માટે જેને એકાંતિક ધર્મમાં સ્થિતિ થઈ હોય તે થકી જ એકાંતિકનો ધર્મ પમાય છે. He begins by saying that you will need a master for it. Just by merely reading or listening to a shastra, you will not be able to attain this state of desirelessness. Hence the Guru Shishya Parampara. Hence a Satpurush is needed in our life. But merely by the presence of the Satpurush this won't happen. He says, such Nirvasnik Purush will tell you some vachans. They will guide you. They will give you instructions. They will mentor you. But will you listen to them? Will you, without any arguments, listen to this Satpurush or a state of higher being, જેની સ્થિતિ થઈ હોય, whose sthiti is higher than us? Will you listen to them when they tell you something in which you are going wrong, or something in which you need to elevate, or something in which you need to correct yourself? Will you listen to them and obey them, or will you listen to your own self? And he's saying, without listening to them, without obeying them, without doing as they say, Nirvasnik Panu is not possible. Only a Nirvasnik Purush can initiate another Nirvasnik Purush. In other words, only a Nirvasnik Satpurush can instill Nirvasnik Panu in us. Second prerequisite, he says, આત્મનિષ્ઠાની દ્રઢતા જોઈએ. મારે કોઈ કાળે વાસના હતી જ નહીં, અને એ તો મને વચમાં કાંઈક બ્રહ્મ જેવું થયું હતું, પણ હું તો સદા વાસનાએ રહિત છું એવું ભાસે છે. Do we believe that we are the soul, we are the Atma? If we are the Atma never had desires, or never has desires, or never will have desires. Desires is a thing that the Indriyas and the Antahakarans have in them. It is a sense of indulgence of the Indriyas and a sense of restlessness of the mind that creates desires. But the Atma never had desires. So, when we sit to talk with ourselves in introspection, we have to tell us that whichever past that I feel I indulged in desires, that wasn't me. I have never indulged in desires. I am Nirvasnik, I am an Atma. The Atma is pure. The soul never indulges. If the Indriyas and the Man, if the senses and the mind indulge someday, then the soul has to stop them from indulgence. But doesn't mean that the soul became impure. The soul is ever pure. So we must not get into self-critical, judgmental analysis and say that our spirit defaulted. Our spirit didn't default. And hence he says, એ તો વચમાં મને કાંઈક ભ્રમ જેવું થઈ ગયું હતું. I got deceived in between. I lost track. But now I'm back because I'm the Atma. The Atma slept for a while, but now it has awakened. So we must not live in guilt and regret of any such incidences, acts, or thoughts that we thought didn't align with our conscience or didn't align with the Satpurush's Agya. The soul didn't indulge in them. The soul has to continue to remain positive, to remain on the path, to keep seeking, and to keep controlling the indriyas and the man. And third sadhan, he says, that પંચ વિષયનું તુચ્છપણું જાણવું જોઈએ. પંચ વિષયનું તુચ્છપણું means સંસારના તુચ્છ સુખ થકી વાસનાએ રહિત થવું. All the sources of happiness or pleasures in this material world are extremely little in front of the massive, enormous bliss and happiness that God brings to our lives. God is the ever powerful source of happiness. When compared to the happiness that God brings in our life, all of His creation combined is a fraction of that happiness. Yes, it's all created by Him, but the Creator has abundance more happiness in Him than what He has instilled in all His creation. And hence he says, સર્વ સાધન કરતા વાસના ટાળવી એ સાધન મોટું છે. To realize that all the material pleasures are insignificantly small in front of God, and I don't want to depend on these pleasures for my happiness, and I withdraw from the pleasures and I only immerse myself in happiness. શબ્દ સ્પર્શ રૂપ રસ ને ગંધ તેને વિશે જેટલી પોતાને તૃષ્ણા હોય તેનો વિચાર કરવો. જે મારે જેટલી ભગવાનને વિશે વાસના છે તેટલી જ જગતને વિશે છે કે ઓછી વધુ છે તેની પરીક્ષા કરવી. અને જેટલી ભગવાનની વાત સાંભળવામાં તૃષ્ણા છે તેટલી જ જગતની વાત સાંભળવામાં જો શ્રોત્ર ઇન્દ્રિય લોભાતી હોય તો ભગવાનમાં ને જગતમાં બરાબર વાસના થઈ. એવી રીતે સર્વે વિષયનો તપાસ કરવો. All our 5 sensory organs must be tested by the Atma. That, hey ears, you love to listen to satsang and to material things. You love listening to bhajans and songs both alike. Then you have still not loved God enough. But if you only like listening to bhajans and you no longer want to waste time in listening to Jagat Lok Sangeet, then your love for God is far higher or 100%, and your distractions in the material pleasures is 0. But if the proportion is that 25% times I love listening to popular pop songs and 75% time I am a bhajan kind of a person, then I am 25% still work in progress. Like this, the eyes likes to only see the murti of God or gets happiness out of seeing other materialistic pleasures too. What is my mind indulging in? Only God or in material indulgences? એવી રીતે તપાસ કરતો કરતો જગતની વાસનાને ઘટાડતો જાય ને ભગવાનની વાસનાને વધારતો જાય. તેણે કરીને તેને પંચ વિષયને વિષય સંબુદ્ધિ થાય છે. If this introspection is done in every moment, in every day, in every act, in every thought, and if I am constantly evaluating that my soul desires God or His gifts, God or His gifts, then there comes a point that God becomes so important and a 100% desire that there is 0% desire of any pancha vishay sukh. Because of that, all pancha vishayas are seen with the same eye, which is called samabuddhi. I see everything with an equal eye. Except God, everything is insignificant to me. Sambuddhi થાય પછી નિંદા ને સ્તુતિ સરખા લાગે. If somebody insults us and somebody praises us, it will seem the same because it's material. I'm not interested in the praises, nor am I affected by the insults of other people. સારો સ્પર્શ અને ભૂંડો સ્પર્શ સરખો લાગે. If I'm touching something very tempting, full of indulgence, something that the skin likes to touch, whether I'm touching something so nice or I'm touching something that is extremely filthy or dirty, they both seem the same. You attain a state of equanimity in such a way that everything seems alike except God. God is what we desire and everything else is the same. When people ask you what food you want to eat, you will say anything is fine because everything is the same. તેમજ સારું રૂપ ને ભૂંડું રૂપ, બાળ યૌવન વૃદ્ધ એવી જે સ્ત્રીઓ, કચરો ને કંચન, સારા ને ભૂંડા જે રસ ને ગંધ તે પણ સરખા લાગે. Not just food. Whatever we see will all seem the same. Whether we are looking at a young child girl or a very beautiful young woman or a very old woman, we will not get tempted or attracted to them sexually. We will find everyone to be a beautiful creation of God and we will not be able to distinguish between this is beautiful and this is ugly. It will all seem the same. This is the attainment that we get when we are going to follow all these guidances given by God under the guidance of a Satpurush, with Atmanistha instilled in us, with Panchavishaynu Tuchchapanu, and with by understanding ભગવાનનું મહાત્મ્ય. ભગવાનનું અતિશય મહાત્મ્ય જાણ્યું હોય તો આવી રીતે સ્વાભાવિકપણે વર્તાય. If we will understand the importance, the value that God has gotten into our life, if we'll understand how much God loves us, if we will understand how massively graceful God has been on us, how massively He's blessed us, then swabhavikpane, effortlessly, we will become nirvasnik. ત્યારે જાણીએ જે વાસણા જીતાણી. That will prove that we have overcome all desires. When God is loved so much by a seeker that the seeker doesn't seek any other thing in life, any other outcome, things go our way, things don't go our way, but we will remain in a constant state of peace, bliss, and love. The amount of unloved that we feel, the amount of disturbance that we feel, the amount of sadness, loneliness, emptiness that we feel is the amount of place that we have still given to our desires and not to God. The day we give a 100% space to God and God alone, we will have some buddhi towards creation, and because of our Atmanistha, we will never feel that I am indulging in something wrong or inappropriate, because I will not indulge anymore. All my actions will be so pure that I will be confident that I love God and God alone, and everything else is just happening to me with the grace of God, under the guidance of God, within the boundaries laid by the Satpurush. And I will always feel that I'm on the right path, in the right guidance, heading towards God, loving God more and more. The real test of desirelessness and detachment is that you free flow in life. You let yourself loose in life. You're so confident of your conscience, you are so confident of your desirelessness, your Atmanistha is so drid that you know that you are not doing, thinking, acting anything out of your material desires, but all out of His divine energy. May we all reach this state of desirelessness. Sahajanand Swami Maharaj Jai.